Yep.
I guess you want to welcome everybody to the meeting. My name, of course, everybody knows, is Bill Lovett. And we're not here tonight to upset anybody because we are going to talk about some flags. So don't be offended, okay, until you fully understand the story of the flags. And we're going to give you some history on that, some indication. This is a very appealing flag, you would say that, okay, because it's more decorative than that one over there. But there's definitely a difference between the two flags. And a lot of us already know this, but we just want to clarify it a little bit more. Now, the first thing we want to do is have the Pledge of Allegiance. So whichever flag you feel like you want to pledge to, go for it. So if you would stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please seated, please. Bow with me just a moment. Heavenly Father, we thank you for what you've given us. We thank you for the time that we have to study here together. We ask that you be with us, Heavenly Father, in the things that we do and say. Help us to try to understand your will more and try to understand you more through study and through experience in our lives. Go with us as we do this meeting. In Christ's name we pray, amen. Okay, first off, got handouts. Bob, you want to take care of those? Take a couple of them. I got 50. So whatever's left over, we'll leave here. Okay, 3 kinds of flags we're going to talk about. Page 1 goes around all the way over there. Take a look at it. Kind of study it a little bit. Pass it on. Page 2. And through the meeting, we'll just go through these, okay? And page 3. Those are the flags. Now, particularly tonight, we're going to talk about the Admiralty flag. One thing I do want to, and this man right here has studied the flag, so anything that I say, please correct me if it's wrong. This is a phoenix. I got this off the top of that standard over there, or whatever they call it, a pole, flag pole, and there's one up there. What does this mean when this is over the flag, any flag? My understanding, it means dominance. Okay, so there's 2 kinds of these birds.
Wings up, wings down.
So-called birds. One's an eagle. My understanding is that it represents wrong, and the other one's a phoenix. And what does that represent?
That's new birth. A phoenix is new birth.
Right, but what?
Rising from the old ashes.
What does it represent as far as a church?
A church?
It's my understanding it represents the Pope. That's what my understanding is. Got to study on it, okay? All right, so this one no fringe. This one has fringe. You want to show them your hat? There's no. Okay. Which one of these came first?
This one.
That boy right there. That's a peace flag. This one. Whoa. This is a peace flag. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read you a little bit. Very, very short. Everybody see our former President Obama in front of the flag? Okay? So let me see if I can read you this. Why does every heart ring true for the red, white, and blue? What about the gold fringe flag used by the military, hung at all courts, schools, and government buildings? It all has to do with the British Maritime Admiralty Law of Flags. Hear anything about American in there?
No.
Okay. This is this is also known as the British Maritime Military Law, and this is why the American flag has a gold fringe when displayed in the courts of the United States. You find the same in government buildings and federally funded schools. The gold fringe is a legal symbol indicating that the court is sitting under British maritime law and the Uniform Commercial Code. Where are we sitting? Right now, where are we sitting? If this flag is flying, where are we sitting? What I just read. And how do you determine that? It's called the Four Corners Doctrine. The four corners of this room, within the four corners of this room, is British jurisdiction. Okay? It is not American. Okay, let me read some more. Anyone entering that ship, port, accepts by doing so that they are submitting to the law indicated by that flag. So when you walk through that door, you're submitting. If this flag is flying, you're submitting to this flag. This is like a ship, this building in dry dock. Isn't that amazing? It's like a ship in dry dock. Okay, so judges refused to replace the flag with one without a fringe when asked by defendants who know the score because that changes the law under which the court is sitting. That's saying the same thing, that changes the jurisdiction. The jurisdiction. If you appear in a court with a gold fringe flag, your constitutional rights are suspended and you are being tried under British maritime military merchant law. That's from David Icke. You know him?
Yeah.
David I-C-K-E. You don't know him? Write his name down, YouTube him. David I-C-K-E.
It's Admiralty Tribunal courts that you're in.
Exactly.
It's a tribunal.
Exactly. Now let me read you this. International Maritime Admiralty Law, the law of the high seas, began in Sumeria, was perfected in Rome, and continues to this day. Jordan Maxwell has explained that the way we trade commerce today is modeled after the Masons, Templar, Knights, 1,000-year-old system. Where are they located on this earth? England. England. Right. There is a city-state within London that there are 12 banks that exist there, and they're controlling the commerce of the world. Okay? We're talking about shipping in a sense, but you can ship on land too. Now, let me read you this. Notice how, regardless of whether you send a product by air, water, or land, you ship it. Ship. The ship pulls into its berth and ties to the dock. Dockets? Dock stamps?
Documents.
Documents? Very good.
Doctors.
Doctors. Thank you. Okay. The captain has to provide the port authorities with a certificate of manifest declaring the products he has brought. Through a legal loophole the royals have created, U.S. citizens are considered property of the Queen. Are y'all listening to me? Under British maritime law. Since we are born of our mother's water from her birth canal, we are thereby a maritime product, a shipped commodity. Our mothers were delivering a product under maritime law, and that's why we are born in a delivery room. That's why the dock signs your birth certificate, your certificate of manifest. You're kept in a maternity ward. Why a ward? No other hospital areas are called wards. Prisons have wards and wardens. The United States Corporation, that is what we're living under right now. Not anything to do with the Constitution. The United States Corporation came about just after the Civil War. The Act of 1871 was passed by Congress, creating a separate form of government for D.C., essentially turning it into a corporation. It was decided that employees would be called citizens, so when you say in court or on paper that you are a citizen of the United States. You are not a free American, but an employee of the United States Corporation. Now, one more reading, and I will turn it over to Roger. Everybody getting a good look at those flags? I'm just going to read some short parts here. Oddly enough, many people think that the law of flags is an outdated relic of the past. Not true. Indeed, every ship at sea is required to be registered with a particular country and must fly the flag of that country. How about this flag? Is this the flag of any country?
No. It's a corporation flag.
Wings are up or wings are down.
This is not. If you take this flag and put it on a ship and put it out to sea, it's not recognizable. Okay? So there is a gentleman within our group that would refer this to as a pirate flag. Because a flag that is, if a country, every country has a flag. And if there's a flag out there that's not recognized by any country, it's my understanding it's a pirate flag. Okay? So we learned, don't we? Okay. So, and it must fly the flag of that country. That is international maritime law. Law of the sea. Commercial law is the very day. I don't understand what that means. Your flag informs others who you are and if your nation is currently at war. Okay? Before 1940, no United States flag, either civil or militarily, routinely flew over the state and private buildings within 48 states. So what flew? Remember? State flag for that particular state. The familiar Stars and Stripes flag was actually the U.S. military flag of peacetime. That's that flag. Okay? U.S. military, territorial, or ensign flag of peacetime. Prior to World War II, this flag was flown primarily at U.S. military installations and on U.S. ships as its ensign for nationality under maritime law within the territories of the U.S. Of note is the fact that U.S. territories, before they became states, have always operated under military law. It's why their governors were most often U.S. Army generals or civilians who were required to obey the U.S. military. The Constitution does not apply in U.S. territories. Instead, territories operate either under military law or maritime admiralty law. Just skip over that. This part's pretty important here. On the seas, the oceans, navigable rivers, the law is different. It is variously called maritime law, law merchant, admiralty law, commercial law, in which the common law and the Constitution do not apply. And this is what this court system is in this county. Bob, what kind of flags you got flying over there? In which areas did you find it?
In the commission meeting room.
In the BOCC.
In the
What's the jurisdiction in the BOCC, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So you found that also in the
sheriff's office.
and in the courtroom. Ron Jones sent me two photos. One BOCC, this flag flies. One in the courtroom, this flag flies. Okay? So when you walk into that courtroom, you're in another jurisdiction. Even, I think, apparently with the BOCC. Because the BOCC is actually a corporation. Okay. It's administrative in nature. Do we have administrative courts now?
Yes.
They're all
It's all about money.
There's no more judges, there's administrators.
They're administrators. It's all about money. rather than judicial. In early and mid-1900s, the common law in America was slowly replaced by statutory commercial law. Does that mean it's gone away?
No.
Thank you. So what is it called now if you bring an action in common law instead of administrative admiralty law? What is it called? What do you bring?
A claim.
Complaint or
A claim.
Which is called a superior court of record. That's the way it works. You have to learn it. You have to learn it. Because we've not been taught it, right? We weren't taught there are two jurisdictions in this country. That's one jurisdiction. That's the other. But this is the one that's dominating us. This is the one that's hurting us. Because it's run by somebody that's not on the land, they're on the sea. Everybody follow that? In fact, the entire U.S. Code was replaced by the UCC, thereby divorcing all U.S. statutory law from the common law and tying it instead to maritime admiralty. Commercial law in which you have no rights, only privileges, granted to you by the government. Since 1935, institutions of Social Security and the Buck Act of 1940, the federal government has entirely circumvented the Constitution. Now, the federal government has done that. But does the Constitution still exist? Is it still alive?
Yes.
It absolutely is. Now, and I didn't realize that until the past year. I was pretty discouraged until I found out it really does exist. And still works. Has overlaid federal territorial jurisdiction on the sovereign states, bringing them under the admiralty military jurisdiction of law merchant. The UCC, the law of creditors and debtors. Under the international law of the flag, the gold fringed U.S. military flag signifies that one is entering maritime admiralty jurisdiction equivalent to military law, martial law during wartime, which actually, to my understanding, we were under martial rule, which is a much milder form of that. So, the important thing that we all have to learn, again, is that there are two jurisdictions in this country. There's this one, and there's this one. Now, we are working to bring this one back and to have this one not be here anymore. And that's going to be a monumental effort because the total system is tied in to this. And with that, Roger, I give you the floor. Did everybody get a copy of one of these?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Dowdell, you're up.
Thank you, Bill. First of all, my name is Roger Dowdell, in case anybody doesn't know me, and I'd like to ask any questions about what Bill covered. Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, both flags are U.S., period, corporation. The true flag of this country is neither one of those.
That's true.
He's wearing it right there.
On his hat, right?
Even before that one, before the Stars and Stripes.
What was the one before this?
Don't tread on me. That is this country's flag. Snake, don't tread on me. Now, do you know how to arrest that flag and get it out of marine jurisdiction and back onto land? We are supreme law of the land by Constitution. You must have that flag arrested. There's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
You contact the Army. That gold fringe is only authorized on military 305 or 205 Army regulation. Report that flag to an Army post, not Coast Guard, not Marines, nobody else, Army only, and tell them to arrest that flag. They will steal that jurisdiction, and it must be done through the color guard, believe it or not. That's their job. They respect and keep that flag honorably. And our courts are not doing so. But the Army doesn't do it. They don't follow it because nobody can complain and they cannot do anything without complaints of the people. The government is the people.
Has anyone, to your knowledge, tried to complain to the Army
Yes.
to arrest the flag?
Yes.
And
Matter of fact, there's paperwork right now for Leavenworth, and we're waiting for come back from the color guard. Yeah.
Could you give those names and numbers to us, please, to Roger? Because he's very interested in tying those people in with some of the other people.
Right. Well, one of the things that people don't realize that in the law of the land, Supreme Law of the Land, which is our organic constitution, we have a right to contract. But because of administrative law, all right, contracts are under presumption. That's why they keep getting away with everything they do. Nobody ever bothers to rebut the assumption. You walk into any so-called jurisdiction, all right, rebut it right away. Just rebut it right away. I bring in evidence of the Declaration of Independence. Don't bring up the Constitution. You don't have any constitutional rights. Your rights come from your Creator. The Constitution was put in place to protect those rights. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The only thing that mentions the Creator God is the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution. You cannot have protected rights of your Creator if you do not bring in the documentation that is recognized by the established law of the land on this soil. And you can take that S-O-L-E, S-O-U-L, either way you want. It's very important to have that flag arrested. Get it out of that jurisdiction. You can get anybody who's standing, by the way, there's one other thing while I'm thinking about it. On the bird on top, whether it be eagle or phoenix, all right, the jurisdiction even goes a little higher, whether the wings are up or whether the wings are down, as to who gets the money. Because it's all about money, because that flag is all about contracts, maritime law. Maritime law is strictly contracts. You have a right to contract, even under the law of land. Don't go into contract with them. Rebut it right off the bat. I do not fall under your jurisdiction.
Charter County.
For clarity, though, we agree exactly with what you're saying. Has anyone successfully done it yet?
It is in the works right now, not that I know of successfully.
And are they trying it in a specific county, or are they trying to do the whole country at one time?
We're trying to do the whole country.
And who's we?
Well, I can't get that name out right now. I'll get it to you privately.
Okay. So this is very encouraging because we've even heard of people going into court and sitting down and they've got the correct flag and the Bible and the Declaration, and they look at the judge and say, I don't know what jurisdiction you're in, Your Honor, but I'm in jurisdiction of land.
Right. Well, now one of the things you got to keep in mind, contempt of court concept. Okay. Now that's valid in law of the land and maritime. You do not want to go in contempt of court, show any dishonor. All right. That's basically all that means. You want to respect whatever court you're in. Doesn't matter if you're under maritime jurisdiction. All you got to do is rebut it, change it, put it under your own. So what you want to do, first thing is, I want to present as evidence and jurisdiction for this court. Court is nothing more than a place where you play a game. You've got basketball court, tennis court, it's all court, that's all it is. Like he said, it's four corners where you're playing a game. Well, the game is played with documents right now. We'll show them your documents. They'll recognize them because they have to. They're under maritime law. Show them your documents. Your documents represent the law of the land and the creation. Like he said, the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, do not ever drag the Constitution in. One of the things a lot of people have a tendency to do, not to go off too far on a rabbit trail, but it is pertinent. They call them, everybody says, well, Second Amendment, Second Amendment. It's not Second Amendment. It's Second Article of the Bill of Rights. They never called amendments until the 11th one came in. Then he started calling them all amendments. All right? It's the Second Article of the Bill of Rights, the right to bear arms. If you say, I want to protect my Second Amendment rights, you just pissed it out the window. See what I'm saying? It's semantics, but it's very, very, very important because it's all done through legalese. It's a language that controls that flag. You need to learn to speak truth. Yes.
What was you said Bible, Declaration of Independence, and what else?
Actually, you did.
I did.
They bring in a little flag, I did. They bring a little flag without the gold fringe on it.
Oh,
Oh, well, I would not bring that. I would bring it, don't tread on me.
bring your own flag with you.
Don't tread on me.
Oh.
I heard that the Bible has to be a non-copyright Bible also, is that right?
No, it's irrelevant.
Is it?
Yep, it's irrelevant.
Don't tread on me flag?
Yes. One of the things that, I mean, I don't want to break anybody's heart here,
You're
over
not
some,
breaking mine.
but
You're not.
there's one very important thing, all right? If you're going to use the Bible, you better use the Bible for what it really says, all right?
Amen.
And the very first commandment given, you shall worship no other God before me, all right? Actually, in the Hebrew, when you break it down, it says, you will not put any other God in my face. Don't put him in my face. You better pledge your allegiance to your Creator and not a flag, because you turn around and you pledge allegiance to a flag, and then you turn around and pray to your Creator. I can show you in the scriptures he's not listening to it because you just put another God in his face. See? Don't pledge your allegiance to a flag. Why was that even introduced? After the Civil War, to keep the Union together. One nation, under God, indivisible. That's all Abraham Lincoln garbage. He was one of the worst presidents we ever had. Okay? No. You know, you got the whole country going in up in arms because the guy wouldn't stand up to the Pledge of Allegiance of the national anthem. My goodness, he's probably the only patriot in the whole freaking stadium that actually has the law of God written on his heart. And that was part of the promise that was given to us through our salvation from Yeshua. All right? So, I would suggest you guys pray on this and really get your heart right as to who you're going to worship. You're going to worship that flag, even don't tread on me flag. No, use it as evidence. Evidence, not a form of worship. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
No, you haven't.
You didn't offend me. I agree with what you're saying. I commend you for saying it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Because you are totally right.
Hang on one second. To support what he said, many people don't understand that there's actually a preamble to the Bill of Rights.
Yes.
And in the preamble it says, the last paragraph says, articles in addition to an amendment of the Constitution as proposed by Congress. So they are in fact articles.
Yes, the first 10 are articles. Never refer to them as amendments. The moment you do, it's no different than, let's say you get stopped by a cop and he reads you the Miranda rights. All right? You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you don't have one, we'll appoint you one. You understand what I just told you. The moment you say yes, you just pissed it all out the window. Because people do not comprehend the word understand. That means that you're going to stand under them. So if you say you stand under them, well then you have no rights. Because they're functioning under that jurisdiction. See what I'm saying? So, you can always say, I do not understand you, but I comprehend every word you're saying.
Do you have it in?
Yeah, some of the people know who the group. I just handed out my card. I help out with Charlotte County COPWATCH in Charlotte County, and like you were saying, that's why I started it 4 years ago. It's a complete money-making scheme, like you said, policing for profit, and I hope this doesn't offend vets here too, but you know what I tell vets a lot lately too is I'm 51, I'm from Michigan. I remember the 80s. I used to mess with a little bit of pot, a little bit of acid, and it wasn't a big deal. You're not going to jail, if it's a small amount. But now it's complete war. Not to be mean to the vets. Like I tell the vets, you're not even fighting for freedom anymore. We are not free. Everything is illegal. We are, in my opinion, it's a socialist, fascist, military police state. My sheriff has a freaking tank. MRAP tank. For what? You know what one of his sheriff's deputies said to me? And he laughed about it. He goes, yeah, now if you're a bad guy, we can drive through your house. And he laughed at that. He thinks that's freaking funny. And you know what their war is? For little bitty amounts of, you know, weed or drugs or whatever. Even Nixon's advisor admitted the only reason why they started the war on drugs was to get rid of the people that were fighting against the war back then. That was one of the reasons. That was another reason how to get rid of the hippies, put blacks back in jail. I mean, just, you know, so that, you know, I think being a veteran is great, but man, you're not fighting for freedom anymore.
Right. Well, let me make sure everybody understands. What do you think is the common thread?
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, you know, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.